So why does it seem so difficult to get a title for a vehicle? Just a piece of paper, right? You have all your documents, a bill of sale, proof of purchase, you have the vehicle, you have the VIN number, you have the keys, you have possession of the vehicle. Why can't you get a title? Why does it seem like the DMV is making it so hard to get a piece of paper? You may be in that position. You may have a file of documents. You have all the forms, all the paperwork. The one thing you don't have is a title. And in your mind, you're thinking, all I want is a title. It's real simple. I just want a title. Well, the reason why, and this piece of paper right here is a good example. Here's an example of a title. This one happens to be from Connecticut. Here's one from Oregon. If you notice, they look very much the same. Scroll work on the outside, tamper-proof paper on the inside. There's watermarks on it. Here's one from Indiana. I can't really see that well. Why is it so hard to get a title? Well, here's what a title is. A vehicle certificate of title is a legal document issued by a state to certify the vehicle's ownership. Why does that make it hard to get? Well, you're asking for a document that's equivalent to this. If you have a $10,000 vehicle, that document is the equivalent of a $10,000 bill. So even though you might be thinking, I just want a title, just a piece of paper, it's really not a piece of paper. It's like going into a bank and saying, hey, give me a $10,000 bill. Because whoever has that title with their name on it owns the vehicle. They have proof of ownership of the vehicle, just like it says here. Certify vehicle ownership. Without that, all you have is keys and a piece of metal. You don't own the vehicle unless you have that. The DMV makes it difficult for you to get a title because they know they're giving you a piece of paper that's equivalent to whatever the value of the vehicle is. And they don't know what the value of the vehicle is. They consider all titles just as valuable. So you might think, well, it's only a $500 car. Well, they don't know that. And maybe someday it could be worth more. Maybe it needs to get fixed up. Either way, they take titles as seriously as a $10,000 bill. They don't just hand them out like candy, because whoever gets that title now has the value of the car transferred to their ownership. It's kind of like transferring $10,000 to your bank account. It doesn't happen by just asking for it. That's why titles are hard to get, but they are gettable. How do you do it? Well, as long as it's a legitimate vehicle, you've acquired it legitimately, and you have some kind of documentation showing or a reasonable story of how you got it, you can get a title. But it's not like snapping your fingers or waving a magic wand. You have to jump through a few hoops. Those hoops are basically paperwork, signing forms, maybe getting a surety bond, maybe getting a bill of sale. Our website will describe all the different methods you could use to get a title. You can do it all yourself for free. If it's a legitimate vehicle in your car, you don't have to pay anybody to get you a title. You can get your own title. Now, it might be worth the convenience of paying somebody to do it, but don't let anybody fool you in telling you have to pay to get a title, or you have to pay a lot of money. It's just a convenience. But the reason why it's difficult is not because the DMV is trying to be mean. It's not because they're making it harder than it has to be. It's intentionally difficult because that title represents giving you value, whatever that value is. Again, here's a $10,000 bill. It's like somebody handing you a $10,000 bill, handing you a $10,000 car. You might think, well, I already have the car. I already bought the car. As far as the DMV is concerned, you don't have anything. Until you have the title, you don't have anything. You just have maybe kind of sort of a car that someday you might own when you get the title. That's why it's important, ideally, to get the title when you buy it. But if you don't, you want to get it quickly so you're not out of luck. DMV is not trying to make your life difficult. Really, what they're trying to do is protect the last owner to make sure they're not getting improperly, I guess, cheated out of a vehicle. Just like you wouldn't want somebody to get a title real easy for your car. You want to make sure that anybody's getting a title for your car, they're supposed to get it. They're protecting the last person. It's not so much about giving you a title. It's when they give you a title, they're yanking away the ownership from somebody else, and they want to make sure it's reasonably legitimate and not just taking your word for it, because if they would just take your word for it, they would take anybody's word for it, and anybody can get a title for any car they wanted. So don't get too depressed about it. Don't get too upset about it. There's a process to getting a title. It's there for a reason, to protect vehicle owners. It also protects you, because once you get that title with your name on it, now you know it's not going to be real easy for somebody just to get that title in their name and take the car away from you, right? You want it to be a little difficult, so once you have it, now you're protected and you're secure with that vehicle, and no one's going to yank it away from you or take it away from you or claim that they own it, because the process of getting a title isn't automatic. It isn't magic. If you look at it that way and imagine your title, it's just like this $10,000 bill. It'll give you the incentive to do whatever you have to do to get one. It's not that hard. Usually a few documents to fill out, a few things to sign, send it in. It's a little bit complicated. The DMV doesn't make it easy to understand because they're not really like a private company that tries to make business transactions easy. They're a government agency and they just put it however they want to do it. But our website will have all the instructions, all the forms. We even have every document you would need. You can download them from free from our website. You can watch these videos. It'll give you instructions on any title method. And if you look at it that way, don't look at it like getting that title is a hassle. Look at it like it's good that it's difficult, because once you have it, now you're protected against somebody defrauding you out of that vehicle because you have a legal title document in your name. Think about it like a $10,000 bill. You'll be just fine.